Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over a story titled, I Found Out There Is No Business Trip. And guys, this is definitely one of the better stories that I've gone over in a while, where this guy, his girlfriend of a few years, goes away. She says she's going away on a business trip with one of her male coworkers. And so this guy, because he's a good boyfriend and really loves her, he decides to surprise her by going to her office and leaving her a present for her birthday at her desk. And when he gets there, he finds out that she isn't away on a business trip. She's actually had been calling out sick. And one thing leads to another, and he finds out, obviously, that she's been hooking up with her male coworker. And things go from there. And also, he actually knows this guy, the male coworker that she's hooking up with, and he also knows his wife. And so then he and the guy's wife end up working together, dealing with these two, and so on and so forth. And when she comes back, he throws all her stuff out on the curb, and one thing leads to another. You're going to see that karma really comes back to bite her in the ass, and it's definitely a nice thing to see. But unfortunately, this guy gets really hurt over this, and he's obviously trying to get his life back together. But it goes to show you guys, no matter how safe you feel in a relationship, how good it is, this type of crap can happen. It's unfortunate, because this guy thought she was the greatest thing next to sliced bread, and surprise, surprise, look what the crap that she pulls on him. So I'm going to get into it now. He says, I, 30-year-old male, wanted to leave a gift at her desk, 27-year-old female, at work for her birthday while she was on her business trip. When I got there, I found out that there was no business trip. She had been calling out sick, as did the coworker she told me about, and I had nothing to worry about. Yeah, sure. Whenever they say you got nothing to worry about, you got something to worry about. He says she had been sending me photos of her hotel room and all the sightseeing she was doing. I'm an acquaintance of his wife, so after I contacted her on Facebook, I got her number and talked on the phone. Same story. He was on a business trip, and they had been exchanging photos of similar sites. That's when I explained to her what I found out. She was silent for a while, and then she told me he had cheated on her many times apparently, and she's actually been working on serving him with divorce papers while under the guise of reconciliation. She apologized profusely, but of course, none of this is her fault. She called their workplace to find out on her own. They told her the same thing. He had called out sick. So here we are. My girlfriend is still texting me like normal, pretending she's sitting at a boring meeting. I'm extremely distraught, and my anxiety is at an all-time high. But surprisingly, I'm not crying this time. This isn't the first time I was cheated on. That sucks, man. But, see guys, it just goes to show you what can happen. Goes on, and this is the part where things start to get good for this guy. He says, I realized how much of a fool I had been. I saw the red flags, but once again, I ignored them, thinking I just had trust issues that I needed to work on. Guys, when you see red flags, you pay attention to that. You start your investigation, because typically, you get enough red flags, something's definitely going on. Where there's smoke, there's fire, okay? I don't care how sweet she is. I don't care how in love you think she is with you and all that stuff. This happens. And in this day and age, more and more and more. It's really unfortunate. Loyalty's out the door. Okay, I'm not saying they're all like this, but a lot are. So he says, I packed all her stuff and will wait for her to come back tonight. He says, hang on one second here. Now he goes into an update. He says, AP's wife confirmed that the papers will be served Monday. He's referring to AP as her coworker. I have no idea what the hell that stands for, but that's what he's calling him. AP's wife confirmed that the papers will be served Monday, and that she's not worried about any blowback from me confronting my ex. So I went ahead and confronted her. I will paste what I said. And he obviously sent her these texts. He said, I know you're not on a business trip. I packed your stuff and left them outside for you. You'll have to find your own ride from the airport. I'm beyond heartbroken and angry that everything we built together meant nothing to you. I hope it was worth it. Good for this guy. Packed up all his shit, put on the curb. Hope it doesn't rain, sweetheart. You come pick it up. And by the way, I'm not picking your ass up at the airport. He says, I'm totally messed up in the head at the moment, so I don't know when the next update will be. But I'll make sure I do so. I appreciate all the suggestions, comments, and words of support. She's blowing up my phone, so I blocked her number. Her sister tried to reach me, so I informed her of the situation. She's shocked embarrassed, and upset. She will drive my ex from the airport and help pick up her stuff. He says, I have a spare key, so there's no need to worry about my safety. Oh, he says, I have her spare key. That's good. Someone suggested taking a vacation from it all. I might actually do that, but first I need some time to get myself right again. I had an anxiety attack, very nearly called my ex to out of habit. That realization made me even more sad. This sucks. And then he continues on with another update to his story or situation. He says, so apparently AP's wife, let's just call her Jenny, inquiry, along with mine, set off a red flag at their company. Human Resources, and they decided to investigate. And he says, makes sense. You would think a married woman would know her husband was sick at home. So the cat's out of the bag. She told them everything. I'm my ex's emergency contact, so they tracked my number and contacted me about half an hour ago, asking how she was doing. She called out sick and hasn't responded in a few days. I told them everything is well. She wasn't sick. She had told me she was on a business trip, but lied. She went on a trip with that asshole, and he's cheating on me with him. Everything just spilled out. I guess I still have so much bottled up, I need to let it out. So that's still developing at the moment. Meanwhile, since I'm up, I might as well update you all. I love it. The work calls the wife of the guy that's cheating this guy's wife, this girlfriend, and calls him, and they tell him everything. How do you think that's going to go at their work? Not very well, and you're going to see what happens later on in his story here. Karma is a bitch. He says, so shortly after I texted my ex yesterday, she started blowing up my phone. Jenny, who is the wife of the guy banging his girlfriend, Jenny texted me that AP has been texting her, being more communicative than normal, and eventually asked if anything was up and what she was doing. She played along. This pretty much confirms that him and my ex were together. My ex and her sis came back and picked up her stuff after they landed last night. They didn't knock. I didn't open the door. After they were done, they sat in her car for a while. I could see her sister's hand gestures moving frantically as they talked. Maybe she was lecturing her on what, I don't know. She was clearly upset. My ex was buried in her own hands. After a while, she got out and knocked on my door. A lot of Redditors suggested completely ghosting her, but I decided I wanted to talk to her, I wanted to know what she had to say for herself, and I wanted to see her cry. Some guys could just say, that's it, it's over, don't ever call me again, adios, senorita, and some guys need to have some closure and say what they gotta say. This guy chose that route. He says, boy, what a shit show. It was painful. Lying, gaslighting, deflecting, it meant nothing. She begged to work it out and promised to block him on everything. She'd keep her phone unlocked, etc. At one point, she even tried to guilt trip me. I asked her to show me her phone. She refused. So, she's caught in the act. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. She caught in the act. And he said right there, lying, gaslighting, deflecting, all that stuff. So, even with all this, no accountability, twisting things around, assigning blame on him, typical bullshit. It's unbelievable. Goes on. I was done. I told her to get out of my face and never contact me again. She burst into further tears and pleaded until she eventually agreed to give me her phone. I found everything on Facebook Messenger. Sex, nudes, videos, conversations about me, how clueless I was, how she felt guilty but was too horny to care at the moment. I took screenshots and sent them to myself, which I later forwarded to Jenny. Gave her back her phone and told her it was over. Not gonna lie, it still hurt watching her cry in such despair. But I had to remind myself that she's not sorry she cheated, she's only sorry she got caught. Exactly, and she's embarrassed. But it's gonna get worse. She knew I had been cheated on before and how traumatic that was for me. It didn't matter. She was willing to risk throwing away 5 beautiful years together, and for what? I closed the door and talked to my mom and dad on the phone for a while, and then pretty much cried myself to sleep. I told Jenny that I was here for her if she needed any help or support, and if she needed a place to stay, she is more than welcome to stay with me and my brother. Oh, so he's opening up his home to the soon-to-be ex-wife of the guy that's banging his girlfriend. I wonder what could happen from that point on if she decides to move in with him. There could be some very serious payback on both parts. He goes on, I'm already dreading today. I don't know what to do with myself at the moment. I can't even get back to sleep. An update on my situation I posted last week, in which I found out that my girlfriend lied about being on a business trip. This is just his updates. He says, Jenny, AP's wife, informed me that AP and my ex both got fired from their job. That's karma, assholes. Not only that, but on the same day, he was served the divorce papers. They had a huge argument, and he started slamming and hitting stuff. He never touched her, but she still doesn't feel safe to be around him. Her parents live in Korea, so she'll be moving in with me until she can find her own place. My brother is deployed right now, so his room is vacant. You know, if this was me, if this was my situation, and I had a girlfriend, and I found out that she was cheating with with her coworker, and his wife was all of a sudden single too, believe me, if I invited her to come stay with me, we wouldn't just be roommates and hanging out. There'd be a lot more going on there. Believe me, if you want to talk about ultimate payback on both parties. He says, as for my ex, I hear from her sister that she moved back in with her parents and has been crying nonstop. She hasn't left the house since and isn't talking to anyone. Her dad called me a few days ago to apologize. All the years I've known him, he was always quiet, cold, and distant. But over the phone, he was very warm and offered me some much-needed words of comfort and advice. That's awesome. I mean, her own family knows that she's an asshole. That's great that even her dad got on the phone and was apologizing and talking to this guy, because he obviously realized this guy's a good guy and his daughter's a shithead. As for me, I'm not good at all. But I know these things take time to work through. I've been here before, but it hurts just the same. 5 years down the drain. She was my rock, the one person in the world I could turn to and open up to. And now I can't do just that. Was it worth it? Is that all those 5 years just meant? He says, was it worth it? Is that all those 5 years meant to you? She was such an upstanding person, independent, hardworking, and honest. She always had her shit together, and you could just tell she was going to be going places in her life. Her energy just made you want to stay on top of your shit. But now it's like I don't even know who she is anymore. Well, this is obviously the real her, okay? And right there, I mean, you can tell. Guys, like, okay, I feel bad for this dude. I do. But he mentioned he was cheated on before. And if he's been cheated on before, and now this is happening again, this kind of tells me the type of guy he is. Obviously, the way he's talking about her here, obviously he put her on a pedestal. Obviously, he probably kind of treated her like the queen, and she probably ran the relationship, and look what happened. I'm not saying that him being a bad guy was a bad thing. I'm just saying that if you act that way, unfortunately, how things are in this day and age, you can get seriously burned. It's really sad. You'd think that the person that you're with, if you treat them well and you're loving and sweet and caring and there for them and all that, that you're going to be treated back accordingly. Unfortunately, that kindness is so often mistaken as weakness, and you're taken advantage of. I'm not saying it happens every time, but it happens an awful lot because of how many stories I've done like this. And I'm sure every guy watching this knows some guy that something like that happened to. It's really a shame. And I'm sure a lot of women that watch this, because the numbers of women that follow me now are really taking off lately, which is very interesting to me. I'm sure they know girls that have done this type of crap. So, anyway, he says, everyone knows what she did. I had a moment of poor judgment and opened up to someone who had a big mouth. Her close friends are upset and are accusing me of doing that on purpose to get back at her. Of course her bitchy friends are making him to be the bad guy. You got to be out of your mind. But as the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. So she's an asshole. Her friends are assholes. And see how he talked about opening up to her and all that stuff that came to backfire? This is why I tell you guys, whenever you have things on your mind that you're stressed out about or you're worried about or your fears or feelings and all that stuff, keep it to yourself. I don't care how bad of a day you're having. If your girlfriend sees you're upset, just say, hey, I've had a bad day. Everything will be all right, and leave it at that. Do not go opening up and pouring out your feelings and your fears and emotions, because guess what? That could come back to bite you in the ass, because a lot of these women will end up using that against you. It's unfortunate, but it happens a lot. And by the way, by you opening up and pouring out your feelings and crying and all that bullshit that a lot of women say they want in a guy or how they portray in movies and television, guess what? It's going to turn them off. I don't care what anybody says. I get shit about this all the time. Don't do it. Okay, trust me on this. It's one of the many things from this video you got to take away from this, guys, if you haven't heard me say it before. If you want to talk about something, you want to let things out, talk to your buddies, your best friends, your wingmen, guys that you know that have your back and will offer solutions and suggestions to your problems, okay? They got your back. Don't go crying to your lady. It's not going to work out well. Trust me. He goes on, he doesn't like her friends. He says, I really don't care to argue with people who knew about her affair the entire time. One of them even encouraged him, one of her friends. I never liked them anyway. I always thought my ex was so far above them. She always seemed out of place, but now I see exactly where she got it from. It's saddening and disappointing to see her fall down so far. Hey, you know what? Now her life is shit. Now she's back living home with mom and dad. She got fired from her job, and she now is going to hang out with her asshole friends. They're probably just as unhappy. This guy now has a chance to move on, learn from this heartbreaking experience, and get his life together. And I hope he does. He says here, I will start boxing next week with my friend, and he will also coach me on nutrition and overall how to eat better or eat healthier. I've been itching to try grilling, so right now I'm thinking about pulling out my brother's Weber grill and learning. I'm trying to keep myself busy. I work from home, so everything still reminds me of her. Someone suggested rearranging the house. I think that's a great idea. Well, good for this guy. This guy is obviously now trying to move on. He's taken up boxing. That's a tremendous... I've been doing boxing for years now. I absolutely love it. Of all the martial arts I do, boxing is my absolute favorite. It's a kick-ass workout. You'll learn some self-defense skills, and it will get you in great shape. And this will help him move on. He's bettering himself, learning about nutrition so he can eat better, get in better shape. That's what I tell you guys always to do. And he's doing other stuff to keep busy and move on, taking it one day at a time. I applaud that. He says, thanks for that's all the updates I have for you guys. I don't think there will be much more. If anything major pops up, I'll make an update. Thank you so much for the support, words of kindness, and advice. And he finishes saying, he says, oh, I've been given an opportunity to travel to New Orleans next month, super cheap. Jenny and I, the wife of the guy that was banging his girlfriend, Jenny and I are thinking about going to get away from all this shit. We've never been, and we're both foodies, so this might be what we need. This guy needs to go to New Orleans, have a blast with Jenny, and bang her every which way till Sunday and get it out of his system and have a great time. And I'm sure Jenny, if she's even remotely cute, will go. You should do this, even if she's remotely cute, do it anyway. And hopefully they have a good time together, because I'm sure Jenny's not going to care. And have a blast. This guy needs this. So anyhow, this is the story, guys. I think it's great that, he kicked all her stuff out on the curb, and she had to go pick it up. And he's moving on, and karma's a bitch. She and that guy got fired from the job, and now he has an opportunity to have fun with the guy's ex-wife. Karma. It's awesome. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. Oh, and by the way, guys, just wanted to tell you, I am now on Twitter, and I'm now on Parler. A lot of you guys asked about that, so if you're on those networks, just scroll down to the description, click on the link, and follow me for daily content. And I'll catch you next time, guys.